From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, your brain is already scanning the world, looking for patterns, priorities, and meaning. It's not just processing sights and sounds, it's determining what matters most, what to ignore, and where to invest your limited time and energy. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes not just possible, but irresistible. Your brain's ability to conquer challenges begins with how it manages energy and focus. The human brain was created with an extraordinary balance between rest and activation, between stillness and movement, between reflection and decisive action. When you wake in the morning, your body and mind shift from a state of recovery into a state of readiness. Whoa. This is not just about feeling alert. It's about activating the neural networks that prepare you to face the day's battles. The first hour after waking is a golden opportunity to prime your brain for resilience, clarity, and victory. Most people waste this hour by flooding their minds with chaos, checking messages, scrolling through news, and allowing the noise of the world to set the tone for the day. But your creator gave you this window to set your tone, to align your thoughts, to program your brain with direction and conviction. When you use this time intentionally, you tap into the brain's natural readiness cycle, the same biological rhythm that warriors, leaders, and visionaries have instinctively understood for centuries. In that first hour, light enters your eyes and signals your brain to reset its internal clock, regulating hormones that govern your energy, mood, and focus. This is not coincidence. This is design. When you start your day with purposeful action, you train your mind to take command instead of reacting. Even something as simple as movement, deep breathing, or quiet meditation can dramatically alter your brain's chemical state, preparing it to pursue hard goals without hesitation. Think of it like sharpening a sword before a battle. You would never walk into a fight with a dull blade, yet many step into the challenges of life with a mind unprepared, distracted, and dulled by meaningless input. Instead, the mind must be honed daily, in the same way a craftsman sharpens his tools. The early moments of your day are the whetstone. If you choose to sharpen your thinking, you will cut through distractions with ease. If you neglect it, you will be fighting battles with a blunt edge. And here's the power of this practice. Your brain learns through repetition. When you consistently start your day by activating focus and discipline, you wire your brain to expect it. Soon, it becomes automatic. Just as the body can be conditioned to rise with the sun, the mind can be conditioned to enter a state of peak readiness without struggle. This is the beginning of mental dominion, using the laws of your biology to serve the purposes of your spirit. When the rest of the world is still asleep in their habits, you will already be moving in your mission. Your brain will be firing on all cylinders. Your attention will be unshakable, and your resolve will be set. The one who masters the first hour masters the day, and the one who masters the day shapes the course of their life. Your brain was not designed for comfort. It was designed for adaptation. Every time you encounter resistance, whether it's a physical challenge, a difficult decision, or an emotional trial, your brain is presented with a choice: retreat into safety or push into growth. This decision happens in the space of seconds, deep within neural circuits that link your thoughts to your actions. If you choose the path of least resistance too often, those circuits weaken, and comfort becomes your default. But when you repeatedly choose to step forward, despite fear, discomfort, or uncertainty, you literally rewire your brain to be courageous. This is the divine architecture of resilience. The brain responds to challenge not as an obstacle, but as a signal for growth. It releases chemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine, sharpening your senses, heightening your focus, and flooding you with energy to meet the moment. Yet many waste this gift because they interpret these signals as stress or anxiety, rather than as the fuel for action. The difference between shrinking back and stepping up lies in whether you see challenge as a threat to avoid or an opportunity to rise. If you want a brain that conquers, you must train it to love the process of rising. That means intentionally placing yourself in situations where you must act with courage. It could be as simple as speaking truth when it's uncomfortable, or as demanding as enduring physical strain to strengthen your body and mind. Each time you do, you create a memory in your nervous system. Proof that you can face the storm and still stand. These experiences layer on top of each other until courage becomes instinctive, not forced. Your brain thrives on this progression. Like a muscle, it grows stronger through challenge and weaker through neglect. When you avoid difficulty, the neural circuits for resilience go unused, and they begin to atrophy. But when you embrace discomfort daily, those circuits grow dense and efficient, making courage easier and faster to access when life throws the unexpected at you. This is why the bold seem fearless. They are not immune to fear. They have simply trained their brain to act in spite of it. What's remarkable is that the brain doesn't just adapt to external threats. It adapts to the stories you tell yourself. If you constantly speak words of defeat, your brain accepts that reality and builds circuits that support passivity. But if you fill your mind with words of purpose, vision, and faith, your brain builds the pathways that support action even when everything around you says you should give up. This is the spiritual and biological truth working hand in hand. As you think, so you become. The life you desire is always guarded by discomfort. It stands behind the locked gate of fear, guarded by the giant of uncertainty. Your brain was built with the tools to pick that lock and defeat that giant, but it will only do so if you train it. Challenge it and feed it with the right thoughts. In the end, it is not the absence of obstacles that determines your victory, but your willingness to face them with a mind that has been prepared to conquer. Your brain is wired to seek clarity and direction, yet most people live in a fog of distraction, reacting to life instead of leading it. This constant state of reactivity weakens your ability to make decisive choices and erodes your sense of purpose. But when you intentionally set a clear vision, your brain reorganizes itself to align with that goal. Neural pathways strengthen around the actions, habits, and decisions that support your destination, and distractions begin to lose their power over you. Vision is not just a motivational concept. It is a neurological command that tells your brain what to filter in and what to ignore. Think of your brain as a vast network of roads, with your vision as the GPS destination. Without a clear address, you wander aimlessly, taking turns that lead nowhere. But the moment you define where you want to go, your brain begins eliminating unnecessary routes and reinforcing the highways that lead you there. This is why vague goals rarely produce results. Your mind can't prioritize what it doesn't understand. Clarity fuels focus, and focus fuels execution. Spiritually, vision acts like a light in the darkness, guiding your steps when everything around you seems uncertain. The brain is drawn to patterns and structure, so when you feed it a compelling vision, it looks for ways to manifest it in reality. Every challenge you face becomes a stepping stone, not a setback, because your mind is anchored to a destination that is bigger than the present difficulty. You stop asking, "Can I?" and start asking, "How will I?" That shift transforms hesitation into movement. But vision must be revisited daily. Just as your muscles weaken without regular training, your mental clarity fades without constant reinforcement. When you wake up and remind yourself of your mission, you prime your brain's reticular activating system, the filter that decides what's important, to spot opportunities that align with your goal. This isn't luck. It's your brain responding to deliberate focus. The more you remind it of your direction, the more it sharpens your perception toward things that will get you there faster. There's also a spiritual resilience that grows from vision. When you know why you're moving, you can endure almost any how. So, your brain, in cooperation with your faith, builds endurance, discipline, and persistence. The storms may still come, but instead of being tossed around by them, you navigate through them, eyes fixed on the light ahead. Every moment of clarity reinforces your identity, and identity shapes behavior far more powerfully than motivation ever could. When you lack vision, you are easily swayed by the loudest voice or the newest distraction. But when your vision is locked in, you filter noise, resist compromise, and stay rooted in your purpose. Your brain becomes a fortress for focus, and your spirit becomes a fire that cannot be put out. The path may still be hard, but your mind has been trained to see beyond the difficulty and move toward the victory already written for you. Your brain was never designed to thrive in isolation. It grows, strengthens, and rewires itself through connection, challenge, and meaningful exchange. When you surround yourself with the right people, their energy, habits, and mindset begin to influence your own neural patterns. The brain is equipped with mirror neurons that automatically imitate and absorb the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional tones of those around you. This means that your mental state, discipline, and even your hope can be elevated or diminished based on the company you keep. Spiritually and scientifically, environment is not neutral. It is shaping you every single day. When you engage with people who push you higher, you activate circuits in your brain responsible for learning, growth, and resilience. Challenges presented by others become mental resistance training, strengthening the pathways that control persistence and focus. Encouragement, truth, and shared vision from those you trust act as emotional nourishment, helping you recover faster from setbacks. Well, this is why isolation so often leads to stagnation. Without external input, your brain's adaptability declines, and your perspective narrows until you can no longer see beyond your current state. The people in your inner circle either build or break your mental resilience. If they model integrity, discipline, and purpose, your brain records those patterns as viable options for your own behavior. If they indulge in distraction, fear, and compromise, your mind normalizes those patterns, making it harder to resist them. From a spiritual lens, the wrong relationships open the door to discouragement, doubt, and deception, subtle yet powerful forces that erode your strength over time. But the right relationships are like living reminders of your calling, constantly pointing you back toward the path you are meant to walk. Neuroscience shows that trust and connection release oxytocin, a chemical that lowers fear responses in the brain and makes it easier to take bold action. The presence of safe, uplifting relationships doesn't just make life more pleasant. It literally primes your nervous system to handle stress better, recover quicker, and take greater leaps of faith. This is why community is not optional for sustained growth. It is a biological necessity. There's also a spiritual protection that comes from the right connections. When you walk closely with those aligned in vision and values, you become part of a network of accountability and prayer that strengthens you in ways solitary effort never could. So, this unity doesn't eliminate struggle, but it ensures that when you fall, you are lifted, and when you doubt, you are reminded of truth. Your brain and your spirit both recognize the safety and strength of such bonds, and together they fortify your ability to stand firm in a world that constantly tries to pull you off course. Your mental circuits adapt to the voices you hear most often. If those voices speak life, faith, and discipline, they will shape you into a person of clarity and courage. If they speak fear, compromise, and apathy, they will weaken your resolve without you even realizing it. Choosing your relationships, therefore, is choosing the future wiring of your own brain and the destiny of your own spirit. Your brain thrives on purpose, and without it, even the most powerful mental circuits begin to weaken. From a neurological perspective, purpose acts as a compass, orienting your attention, energy, and actions toward a clear objective. When you wake up each day with a defined why, your brain's dopamine system activates, providing the motivation and focus required to push through resistance. This isn't just about feeling inspired. It's about chemically and structurally aligning your mind with the path ahead. Without a strong sense of mission, your neural activity becomes scattered, chasing short-term pleasures, instead of building long-term strength, and resilience follows. Purpose also gives meaning to pain. Life is not without hardship, and the brain's natural tendency is to avoid discomfort. But when you see your struggles as part of a greater calling, your nervous system begins to reinterpret those signals, transforming obstacles into training grounds. Spiritually, this aligns with the truth that trials can refine you, shaping your character, deepening your faith, and preparing you for greater impact. 2. The same brain circuits that would normally trigger retreat in the face of difficulty are instead rewired to push forward when anchored in a clear vision. Living with purpose engages the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-control. This is the mental economy center that keeps you from being tossed around by impulsive desires or external pressures. When your purpose is vivid and unshakable, you activate and strengthen these pathways, making it easier to resist distractions and stay on course even when temptation or fatigue sets in. In this way, your purpose acts as both a spiritual anchor and a neurological filter, determining which opportunities you accept and which you reject. On a deeper spiritual level, your purpose is tied to the unique design and calling placed on your life. It's not simply about achieving personal goals, but about aligning with the Creator's intention for you. When your daily actions reflect that alignment, you experience a profound sense of fulfillment that cannot be replicated by worldly success alone. This connection between brain and spirit forms a powerful feedback loop. Your mind reinforces your faith, and your faith strengthens your mental clarity and clarity. Oh.